Hi, and thanks for joining. So I'm going to talk about my fluoxetine journey and experience. So fluoxetine is an SSRI, and I have been on it now for about 13 weeks, and I noticed things started to level out probably, I'd say, about 10 weeks. So it took for me longer to notice improvements compared to when I was on Citalopram. I was on that before for over 10 years, and at the time it was about 2011 when I started that. I think I noticed an improvement probably after about a month, but fluoxetine definitely took longer, and I think that is the case with that medication. You can hear my chickens in the background. So if you've watched a previous video, my story was I came off Citalopram after being on it for over 10 years, and after about 4 months went into a protracted withdrawal, and it was, I can't sugarcoat it, it was bad, it was difficult. I basically tapered too quickly, and was okay for a few months, and then went into protracted withdrawal. I did a lot of reading, so I knew what it was, and I knew it was withdrawal because it was unlike anything that I'd ever experienced before. The anxiety was more like a terror anxiety. I'd never had depression before, but I sunk into an awful depression. So after trying to stay off it for 4 months, I made the decision to reinstate the Citalopram. I gave that 4 weeks, and it wasn't really helping as much as I'd like it to work, like it to help. Nothing bad happened, so nothing kind of drastic happened. It just wasn't, I don't know if it was because I was on it for a second time that it wasn't as effective, and I think we don't really understand fully how these medications work. I think research is now established and challenged the chemical imbalance theory of depression, so I'm not sure why it didn't work. It might have been my expectations, I'm not sure. So I then tried duloxetine. I only tried that for a week. Again, there was nothing particularly wrong with duloxetine. I just knew that my long-term kind of plan was to try and come off it again, an antidepressant again in the future, but do a more careful taper. So I have read and I know from my own work that duloxetine can be quite hard to come off with the withdrawals. So I then decided to stop that, just been on it a week, and then I started on fluoxetine. I made that decision with my psychiatrist because I felt that it was an SSRI, it was the same as category as Citalopram. I was quite familiar with that type of medication. I know it comes with side effects, I've read about side effects, but I knew generally that I probably could tolerate it more than I could with duloxetine. So I started on fluoxetine, and it was a bit of a roller coaster. Absolutely felt worse before I felt better, but I kept going because I knew I was in withdrawal, and I knew I had to keep on the medication for a length of time. Antidepressants don't work overnight, you have to give them several weeks. So I had in my mind, I'm going to give this 3 months, and I'm going to stick to the dose I was prescribed, which was a starting dose. It worked really well for me. I didn't mess with the dose, and I stuck it out, and as I say, about 10 weeks things started to really level. I mean, things did get better before then, but there were kind of ups and downs. I think, you know, at week 3, 4 I felt good, and then at week 6, 7 there was a dip. So I guess my brain was trying to just figure out that, you know, this medication is back again, and we need to you know, accept it or whatever. So yeah, that that was my experience of fluoxetine. So I'm still on it now, and I think I've said in my previous videos I'm not anti-medication. I think they've got a role for people, certainly in severe depression, but what I am is pro informed consent. So I suffered protracted withdrawal, 100%. I know that's what it was. Obviously I'm not saying there weren't life stresses at the time I came off the antidepressant, but it was a chemical kind of withdrawal that I had. So I knew that, and I knew what I was like before I went on the medication. I knew that I was not a really overly person that was prone to depressive episodes, so it just felt different. So I knew it was withdrawal. But yeah, now I'm everything's leveled out. I believe my brain has got the drug that it missed, so it's settled. The side effects are all gone. The side effects I got, I think, are quite common. A sort of increase of anxiety, bit of low mood. What else did I get? A bit of insomnia. Again, that all settled down. Because I've got the insight, I was really quite keen that I wasn't going to add any more drugs on to help the side effects, because I think that's sometimes what can happen. I just thought, no, I don't want to add any more medications. My long-term aim is to get off this medication, so that's the only one I take, and it's okay, and I will try again in the future. In terms of how I feel on it, I feel fine. I don't feel anxious, don't feel low. I do feel I've got a range of emotions. Definitely not probably as much as I had when I was off the medication. It's hard to explain, but for those who've been on an antidepressant that are on, it's very good at kind of keeping everything quite, I suppose that's one of the side effects, like got flat effect, but it's 100% got me out of a real pickle. And I'm really grateful for that. So as I say, I will try again. I think I don't want to make any changes to anything. I think my brain has been confused enough, so I'm going to stay where I am for a couple of years, and then reevaluate how things are in my life. I'm going to do it properly this time. I did it, as I said in a previous video, I did it over 4 months, and reading the new guidelines, because I've been on it for such a long time, and this is my personal belief. This is not medical advice or information, but I personally believe my brain has rewired itself around this medication, because the brain neuroplasticity, that's what I believe. So when I came off the drug, it missed that, hence why I went into protracted withdrawal, and that is absolutely a thing. It's a real thing. But yeah, I will do it slower next time to give my brain kind of, its chance to, I guess, again, it's just my opinion, but I think if your brain has had this sort of medication for so many years, there's an argument that, does it become, lazy, making its own good chemicals? I don't know. It's just my own thoughts, but I'm going to do it much slower next time, so my brain has a chance to reach a level after each drop, and hopefully I'll be successful. But yeah, that's my experience of fluoxetine. My advice is definitely took longer with that medication, but I'm really good I stuck it out. It's been around for a long time. I feel comfortable on it for the moment. It's definitely helped. Things have definitely settled, and I'm glad I persevered. So thanks for watching.